Welcome to day one. The purpose of day one is to recognise who's in the driving seat, you or your subconscious. Most people live their life letting their subconscious do all the driving, their unconscious mind with all its habits, its belief, its memories, the emotions, its values, take charge. The secret to more success and happiness is to recognise when you're in the driving seat or your subconscious is in the driving seat, and then to do more of the driving yourself. So the first step is that recognition. Now, the good and the bad news is our autopilot is always there, always ready to take over. So we're not going to crash, at least not any worse than we already are. It will take over often in those early days. Later, it'll only jump in when we're tired, when our emotions are high, when we're angry, annoyed, or when we're just feeling low. It's always there, like a parent or Alexa, listening, watching, and waiting just to take over, to jump in, because the ultimate aim of our subconscious is to protect us. It's always trying to protect us. It has what we call a positive intent. However, the problem is that sometimes that positive intent is helpful and sometimes it's not. For example, when we automatically keep people at a distance, when we don't trust people, when we go on the defensive because we think that's going to be more helpful to us. Now, these defaults come from events and from memories that may have happened years ago, maybe decades ago. They're habits or meta-programs that tell us how to react and how to react quickly. And therefore, they bypass our conscious or thinking mind. They've got us to where we are today with all of our successes and all of our bruises. But will they get us to where we need to get to? Now, your subconscious may feel less like a robot and more like that. And that's okay. Our subconscious is our friend. It's trying to look out for us, and we can have some fun with it as well. So this is not trying to kind of take back control or take charge in a challenging and difficult way. It's just learning to be friends with our subconscious and learning to work with it so we can have more happiness and more success, and just working with it and reprogramming it. Because if our subconscious is like an autopilot or a self-driving car, would we be comfortable knowing that some of that software that it's using to navigate and to keep us safe hasn't been reprogrammed in decades? Or would you rather relook at it and decide which bits are working really well and which bits perhaps need some updating? If we're going to navigate our way to more success, then there are a few things that we need to do. We need to be able to identify our destination. So we talk about success, but what does success look like for each of us? Then we need to know where we are now, our starting point, because if you're going to use a sat-nav, your sat-nav has to know not only where you want to go to, but where you are, so it can plot your route and know how to get there. And most importantly, if we're going to take over more from our subconscious, then we need to learn how to drive. And that's a starting point for today. Because up until now, are we navigating to our dream destination, or have we just been reacting to every event, every wall that we hit, every block, every dead end? Because this is how our subconscious tends to work, based on all the things that have worked and haven't worked for us in the past. It's like a maze, and we need to remap that maze and realise that we can reprogram how we decide to react to things. So, your challenge for day one is quite simple, because we're not starting to take the autopilot off. We're just starting to notice how it navigates, how it drives, so that we can learn what it does, what it doesn't do so well, and start to work out how we're going to reprogram it. So the first thing is just to notice when you're reacting to something. And then the second thing is to consider which of those reactions lead to feeling good and which of those reactions lead to feeling not good. I don't want to say bad because they're not bad feelings, they're just not good feelings. So notice when you're reacting to something and don't necessarily try to change it, but just notice whether that leads to you feeling good about it or feeling not good about it. So good luck, and I will see you tomorrow.